Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Eric Chilton. Welcome to the 4 to 5. This is the interactive show that really keeps you involved with what we're doing. This is a live, interactive, two-way street. I'm Eric Chilton. I'm here at my house. We're doing our social distancing thing. So Tahesha's at her house, Maddie in the studio, and we've got a lot coming up for you. Make sure you log into WFMY News 2's Facebook page. You can talk to us there or on YouTube and use that hashtag 4 to 5.
All right, let's get you caught up this afternoon with your 4 to 5 roundup.
Yes, let's start with the news that we all want to hear. The 100th patient to recover from coronavirus at Cone Health Hospital is now home. Check out the send-off he got as he left the hospital. Doctors, nurses, and other hospital staff waved balloons and signs as he was wheeled out. The Rocky Anthem was even playing. The patient was discharged from the Green Valley campus. If you remember, this is the former women's hospital and is now being used by Cone Health as a facility to specifically treat coronavirus patients. Wi-Fi buses are rolling out across the state. The goal, to make e-learning easier for students in need. Governor Roy Cooper says the buses with hotspots will go to 29 counties across the state. 280 buses are now equipped with Wi-Fi thanks to donations from AT&T, Google, and Duke Energy. More than half of the buses will roll out this week, the rest at a later date. And today, May 6th, kicks off National Nurses Week, and the gratitude is even more so, in the midst of this pandemic. There are a lot of ways that you can show your appreciation this year. A simple way is to show off your purple. It is the official color of National Nurses Week, so put a ribbon on or maybe turn on a purple light bulb on your porch. Another way is to buy lunches for those working in the hospitals. Several local organizations are accepting donations. You can find more information on WFMYnews2.com. And you remember this sight last week? Blue Angels and Thunderbird pilots flew over the New York City skies to say thanks to healthcare workers and those on the front lines of the coronavirus fight. They made flyovers in various cities across the country. Well, tomorrow, North Carolina will have a reason to look up, because tomorrow afternoon, the North Carolina Air Guard will fly across the state in their own show of gratitude. The flight will be in the Triad from about 11:15 to 11:40. It'll start in Winston-Salem and then head east to High Point and Greensboro before heading off to Durham. Now, reminder, you should enjoy the flight, but remember to stay socially distant if you gather outside in a public space. Stay 6 feet apart from others and wear a mask.
All right, well, I want you to take a look at this. In just 2 more days, phase 1 of reopening starts in North Carolina. And there are, of course, a lot of questions about what will open and where you can go. This list, this very long list, it was put together by the state to clear things up for you. Let's take a closer look at it. It's broken up into what's currently in place with the stay-at-home order and the executive order from Governor Cooper. It's then compared to what will reopen this Friday at 5 p.m. Now, the biggest thing, you can leave your house for commercial activity, not just essential business. Gatherings are still recommended to be 10 people or less and are encouraged to be outside. Child care centers will open to more workers. Now, things that won't change, working from home, that is still encouraged. Restaurants and bars can still offer takeout service, but no in-person dining yet. Places like salons, movie theaters, gyms, and playgrounds, they will not open. Okay, one more time, here's a look at this very long list. We know it is a lot of information, so I posted it for you on WFMYnews2.com.
An update now on how 2 of some of the hardest hit areas are working to reopen after coronavirus. Schools in Wuhan, China reopened for some students today. Nearly 58,000 seniors at high and vocational schools in China returned today to finish out the year before graduation. All students and staff were tested for coronavirus before returning. Students said they were anxious to return to prepare for China's national college exam. Officials in Wuhan did not say if there were plans for students in other grades to return. Now, back here in the U.S., New York isn't ready to reopen yet, but the subway system in New York City will shut down for cleaning for the first time ever. And 5 a.m. This to recover from the loss of overnight train rides, the city's transportation authority will put 300 extra buses on the roads.
North Carolina reported its first positive case of COVID-19 in early March. Now, over time, things have certainly changed. Businesses, well, they were closed. Class was dismissed. And stay-at-home orders were put in place to keep us all safe. I spoke to one of the team members, Dr. Mandy Cohen, to see what this experience has been like for her.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon.
We first heard from Dr. Mandy Cohen, Secretary of North Carolina's Department of Health and Human Services, on March 3rd, after the first person in our state tested positive for COVID-19.
Or the new coronavirus.
The state has been monitoring the virus since January, but Dr. Cohen says the gravity of the situation hit when she saw images of the healthcare response in China.
I think personally the time for me when I said this is not like any kind of response I have seen before is when I saw a video that showed how the government in China stood up a hospital from the ground up in 10 days. I was like, that made me sit up and take notice in a very, very different way.
Now, weeks later, she's helped navigate our state through an unprecedented pandemic, something she says no one could have fully prepared for, but she felt ready to do.
This is something no one has ever experienced before, but I feel lucky that I've had a number of leadership roles at times of crisis.
Cohen graduated from Cornell University, received a medical degree from Yale, and a master's in public health from Harvard. She's an internal medicine doctor, but became interested in shaping policy early on. She was the chief operating officer and chief of staff at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services before she came to work for North Carolina. Now she's shaping our state's response to COVID-19 and doing her best to keep everyone safe, including her own family.
I'm lucky to have the best husband in the world, and we are lucky that our kids are doing great. They're learning a lot about the coronavirus in a very different way because of mom's job, but they're wonderful and also allow me to put in perspective all of this, right? Because we're doing it for the folks that we love, for our family, for our neighbors, for our communities. So we're faring well, though our lives are upside down like everyone else's.
She says she understands what we're going through and is proud of how North Carolina has answered the call to flatten the curve and protect at-risk populations. One day we won't be hearing from Dr. Cohen on a regular basis. Press conferences will fade away and things will start to look the way they once did. But Dr. Cohen says it's up to all of us to make that happen.
I see the light at the end of this tunnel. We're going to start to ease these restrictions, but it's going to take our collective action together that's going to keep us moving forward and allow us to keep this virus spread low and allow us to start to move through the world.
Well, Dr. Cohen, of course, is part of the team that is making the call to slowly reopen the state in phases. So coming up at 6 o'clock, I'll give you an inside look at how those decisions are made and what happens if cases start to rise as our state starts to open again.
And weather-wise, well, the first part of the day started with some sunshine and a few clouds. Now we have a few showers across the area, and those will continue until about 7 o'clock tonight. They're just light right now. A couple thunderstorms are also possible as these move through. We saw a small thunderstorm up in Rockingham County moving through Ruffin. It even had some really small hail in it, but it won't be a big deal if you do get a shower or a thunderstorm tonight. And by about 7 o'clock, all is quiet again, and we will clear out heading into your Thursday. Temperature-wise, kind of a diverse temperature map. We're in the lower 50s back in the foothills, mid-60s for us here in the Triad, and then even closer to 70 down south and to the east of our area. Overnight, those showers, of course, will come to an end, and it'll be chilly, right around 40 for the overnight low. Thursday is an absolutely gorgeous day. Lots of sunshine. It will be a bit breezy at times, and temperatures will top out in the upper 60s. Now, coming up, we'll talk about our cooler May weather. It's going to get downright cold over the weekend, and we could even see some frost for Mother's Day morning. I'll have your full 7-day forecast and details coming up.
All right, he was a superstar at West Davidson High School, Wake Forest, and made it in the NFL, but now he's feeding needy kids. We're going to show you who's giving back in a huge way as the 4 to 5 continues.
How high up is that?
That's about 100 feet in the air, sir.
From driving hundreds of miles around a track to watching Marines rappel hundreds of feet, NASCAR driver Austin Dillon spent some time with Camp Lejeune Marines before the Coca-Cola 600. Now that event is called Mission 600. Normally it involves members of the armed forces attending in-person training and events at the track, but obviously this year it had to go virtual. So the Marines walked Dillon through a day in the life, including showing off those rappelling videos. They also got to ask Dillon questions about working as a driver. The Coca-Cola 600 will be held Memorial Day weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway without fans.
You know, it's always pretty amazing how people who make it big and they came from the triad, they always give back to their communities. Josh Bush was a West Davidson football star. He went on to Wake Forest and was All-American, played in the NFL, even has a Super Bowl ring, but now he's giving back to his hometown of Lexington. Take a look.
So Josh, I want to say, first of all, it's an honor to talk to you, man. You're so accomplished in the sports world, playing for West Davidson, Wake Forest, and then a host of NFL teams. I have to ask you about your foundation, because now this is your life, right? What's your foundation all about?
Right. So we've been doing this since 2012. My wife and I started it. And initially we was just giving, bikes and stuff back to the elementary school that I went to. And once I retired, we decided to expand and just wanted to grow this whole thing and just really try to touch everyone in the Lexington and Davidson County community.
And let's talk about what you guys are doing today. This is special. You're helping to feed kids that might otherwise not get a good meal.
Right. So today I partnered with Elevation Church. We really got the mayor involved and just really tried to assess our needs here in Davidson County. And what we're going to do is we're going to be going to Harris Teeter, picking up a lot of groceries and helping assist the backpack program in the Davidson County community.
So all of this, 350 or so meals that you're donating, and where that goes to the school system, is that correct?
Yeah, this week we were able to get the answers from the Lexington City school systems the fastest because we had deadlines on when we needed to place the order and everything. So we're doing it week by week pretty much. So we got 350 kids this week, and hopefully for the next 3 weeks it continues to grow. A large part of why I do it is because when I was growing up, that's how adults and my friends' parents treated me. So this is my way of just, giving back to them.
Well, we thank you for what you do, especially for children. We all have that soft spot in our heart. Nice job, Josh. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Great guy, big guy with an even bigger heart there. If you want to check out his foundation, look for this story on WFMYnews2.com. I put a link there to the Josh Bush Foundation. Good work he does.
Well, today, another hometown superstar took part in giving back to our community. NBA star Chris Paul partnered with Beyond Meat to donate 200 plant-based meals to frontline workers at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. Now, Paul wasn't able to make it because he's in Oklahoma City, but his parents were there to take his place. Those meals will be distributed every week to employees at Wake Forest Baptist. Stick with us. The 4 to 5 is coming right back.
This has no pull. Yes, mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check.
Okay. Would be the easiest way. Get it. All Yeah. Too high?
We're just always trying our best to care for people and make sure that they are safe and healthy, and you know, everybody's working so hard to try to help this whole pandemic to go away, or at least get under better control.
Since it is National Nurse Appreciation Day, kicking off a week-long appreciation event, we want to thank all of the nurses who are working hard on the front lines right now. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson has one nurse in particular that she wants to celebrate.
This is Sammy Bongelli, my sister and a nurse back in Florida. Now, I want to thank all the nurses, but especially my little sister who's putting her life on the line. Now, Sammy's a cardiac telemetry nurse at Bethesda Hospital back in Palm Beach. For the past 2 years, she's been taking care of patients with heart conditions. She always wanted to be a nurse and grew up learning how to do this job, but her textbooks never prepared her or anyone for coronavirus.
As a nurse, you know, you learn something in a textbook, and it's not always the exact same way that you see it in real life. In nursing school, they teach you about, you know, being in this little white room and the best answer to the best question. But with this COVID-19, it's like you're asking us, you know, something that's never been heard of before, and we're living in this, you know, stay-at-home order in this world under quarantine. And with the COVID-19, you know, we go to work every day, and no, this is new to everyone. It's not just us.
Now, coming up at 5, I'm going to take you through a day in the life of her and how she handles the coronavirus and taking care of all of her patients. We'll be back after this quick break.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 is set to upgrade our broadcast signal. So if you're a Spectrum, AT&T, U-verse, DirecTV, or Dish customer, this does not apply to you. It does apply to customers who watch us using a TV antenna. So beginning on May 8th through May 15th, WFMY will be broadcasting from our auxiliary antenna while upgrades are being done to our main antenna. On Friday, May 15th, you will need to rescan your television set to make sure it recognizes WFMY. Go to the menu setting on your remote and look for the word scan. Scan over the air channels. It's going to take a few minutes. Again, this change will take place on Friday, May 15th, and is for people who watch WFMY News 2 using an antenna.
Well, otherwise, we've had a few showers across the area this afternoon. They're very light in nature and pretty scattered, but most of us have seen at least a shower as we've gone through the afternoon. They're coming through with a front that's crossing our area. Of course, you can see them still kind of coming over the mountains right now. In fact, as we go through in time this evening, just some scattered showers, maybe even a couple rumbles of thunder possible, but by about 7 o'clock, things are quieting down and we are clearing out ahead of a really nice day on Thursday. It's just a little upper level disturbance crossing our area today, kind of firing off some of those showers. Behind that, high pressure is going to build in and cooler high pressure for Thursday. Now, Thursday will be breezy, but it's not as windy as we've been today. We do have a lot of sunshine. Then we're watching our next weather system that'll come our way Friday evening. So some showers Friday evening and Friday night possible, but really clearing out heading into your Saturday. Temperature-wise, pretty diverse temperature map across the board, from the 50s in the foothills to the mid-60s and even close to 70 in some parts south and east of the Triad. Overnight, those showers will come to an end. It'll be chilly, right around 40 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, sunny day with windy. It'll be breezy in the afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70 for your Thursday afternoon. We are much cooler heading into the weekend. We get a shot of really cold air. Upper 50s for afternoon highs with sunshine on Saturday, and then we'll be in the mid-60s on Sunday afternoon. But check out those morning lows. We could have some morning lows in the mid-30s for Mother's Day morning, which means it is possible we could have some late season frost. If we do, it would be record-breaking.
All right, life after lockdown. We all know that's going to look different, even for things as simple as maybe going to the park and having a picnic. But a London designer has come up with a solution. Sort of. Take a look. The designer created a socially distant picnic blanket, he calls it. It's called the Here Comes the Sun blanket. It's a large ring with 4 individual circles. They're all placed about 6 feet apart, of course, for social distancing. By the way, it's not for sale. The studio actually provided a free template for you to download and create your own. All you'll need is the fabric, of course, maybe a sewing machine, 4 buttons, and some glue. And the downloadable template then comes with instructions on how to put all of that together. I don't know, because if I'm probably going to a picnic, I'll probably be with my family, which means I won't need to social distance, but it is kind of a cool look.
Okay, Eric, I felt one type of way when you told me that this was happening. I thought they were selling them, and I was like, this is completely silly. But then when you told me it was just a template, I'm thinking, hey, it might be something you can do while you're staying at home. You just sew this together. And then it's cute. It looks cool out there. I mean, I don't really know if it's going to keep people from getting close together, but I like the idea.
I think the kids may like it. You know, it might end up being one of those things.
Now, only if it's free, though. The free template is the key here. It's not for sale. If it's for sale, it's silly. Right, Tahisha?
I think it's great, and you know I love free. Well, with high school graduations not able to happen as normal this year, we do want to take some time to celebrate our seniors here in the Triad as part of our senior shout out. So let's get a look at some of our submissions that was sent to WFMY News 2. So our first senior that we are celebrating today is Carmen Davis. It goes to West Davidson High School, where she served as student body vice president and Beta Club vice president. She's heading to Appalachian State to study communication sciences. Joshua Curry, also known as the Tank, is one of the top 100 students at Southern Guilford High School. He plans to major in business administration entrepreneurship at the University of Kentucky. And lastly here, Maya Dove is graduating from Northern Guilford High School. She's a member of the National Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, and Beta Club. She will be attending UNC Charlotte to study nursing. Now, if you want to share your senior shout outs with us, just find this submission form on our website. Submit photos of your senior. We're asking that that you don't send professional photos, though. Be sure to include their name and school and any personal message you want to include in your shout out. The 4 to 5 will continue right after this break.
Yes. Can you hear me? Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. 1 2 45. Mic check.
Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
Hey everyone, welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Tahisha Moyes, joined alongside Maddie Gardner and Eric Chilton. We are still doing the social distancing thing, so Eric and myself are broadcasting live from our respective homes. Maddie live in the studio there, but we are here to connect with you both in person here and also on our Facebook and the WFMY News 2 live stream. So be sure to log on to those and leave a comment.
Well, let's get you started this afternoon with your 4 to 5 roundup. The North Carolina State Coronavirus Task Force just wrapped up an update on the virus in our state. Dr. Mandy Cohen spoke about reopening phase 1, which will start on Friday night. She used her time to clarify some of the big questions that people have been asking. She says the state is still getting a lot of questions about why they chose to let some businesses reopen, but not as many as people expected. Here's what Dr. Cohen said.
We wanted to start with lower risk activities, where you're largely walking around if you're indoors and where it's easier to social distance. In 2 weeks, when we reassess where we are on our trends and hopefully are able to move into phase 2, we can layer on these higher risk activities.
Now on a national level, a new poll is out about what North Carolinians think about President Trump and the federal government's response. A new High Point University poll shows President Donald Trump has a 44% approval rating in North Carolina. That's up 4 percentage points from his approval rating in April, which was 40%. Governor Roy Cooper also saw a boost with a 60% approval rating. That is much higher than his approval rating at the same time last year. A North Carolina company had a big hand in helping frontline workers get PPE. The Washington, D.C. National Guard ordered 250,000 PPE masks from the company Nofrobix in Asheboro. The products are durable enough to be washed and dried in a machine up to 30 times. Now, the CEO of the company says he is grateful to be able to provide PPE to people who need it. Today, the church bells rang a song of encouragement to Wake Forest University students. If you were near campus today, you probably heard this familiar tune. Listen carefully. It's the song I Will Survive, and it rang out over campus. Hey, it even caught the attention of the song singer, Gloria Gaynor, and she shared this video on social media. Very cool. Well, speaking of survivors and hope, we know those are the stories that you want to hear about. I spoke one-on-one with Dr. Mandy Cohen. She's one of the state's leaders on the coronavirus task force. She talked about when we could learn more about recoveries in North Carolina.
We know people have recovered. I've had family members personally who have had COVID-19 and have recovered. So the good news is the vast majority of folks are recovering. The question was in the math. How do we actually define that? Because people experience COVID-19 for different periods of time. So stay tuned. We've been working with the CDC, and I hope this week we'll be able to put out our first recovery numbers.
Yes, we are looking forward to that. That was just a little piece of our conversation. Coming up at 6 o'clock, what she had to say about testing in North Carolina and why she says it started slow and how it's getting better. And actually, that's coming up at 5 o'clock. Excuse me there.
Going strawberry picking is a fun tradition for many in the Triad, but as businesses reopen, folks can expect some changes as they head to those fields. WFMY News 2 Aduria Tumba spoke to some farm owners on what those changes are.
At some Triad farms, strawberry picking by the public is no longer allowed. You'll only have to get them by going through the drive-through. But here at Hedgecock Farms, where they're still allowing strawberry picking, you'd have to do things differently.
I think our business is just tremendous. We sell it out every day.
Triad strawberry farms are making changes as state officials head towards reopening the economy. They've implemented strict social distance rules to prevent the spread of coronavirus at their farms. At Hedgecock Strawberry Farm in Kernersville, folks can still go berry picking, but with some conditions.
Be a row apart, at least 6 feet. We got on the poster here. And also, we let families stay together.
Had a good steady crowd, not overwhelming like it was before.
Rudd Farm just reopened after being shut down for 2 weeks. Some employees had gotten sick with coronavirus.
Prior to all this, we were taking every precaution that we could. You know, everybody's wearing masks. We were washing hands and using hand sanitizer and just practicing really good hygiene. And it was something that came from nowhere.
Also, some farms are requiring that you wear a face mask and buy a new bucket or bring yours if you intend to go berry picking.
And taking a look outside, the first part of the day was sunny. We did have a few clouds. Now there are a few showers across the Triad, and that's all that they'll really be. Some light showers across the area, and even they're actually coming over the mountains. Even a couple rumbles of thunder are possible in these storms, but they won't amount to much. They won't be a big deal. Yes, you can get a couple rumbles of thunder, but for the most part, it's just showers for us, and they really start coming to an end by about 7 o'clock tonight, and we clear out overnight. Those showers, of course, will come to an end. It'll be chilly, right around 40 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, Thursday, it's a gorgeous spring day, a little on the cooler side, upper 60s for afternoon highs with lots of sunshine, and it will be a breezy day. We have another front that's going to come our way on Friday afternoon and evening. That could give us the chance for some showers Friday evening and Friday night, but we're clearing out ahead of Saturday. The weekend is cool, upper 50s with sunshine on Saturday, mid 60s on Sunday, but those morning lows could be in the mid 30s.
You sound like a song. My God reminds me of when we were young.
Well, he might not sound like Adele, but one Triad hospital worker is lifting patients' spirits with song. Michael Terry works at Novant Health Medical Center. He walks up to 14 miles a day, taking patients all over the hospital. Now, he admits he doesn't think he has the best voice, but singing brings a smile to many faces, so it's worth it.
feeling how they feel. Nobody wants to come in here. It's more of a need. And, you just got to kind of chipper up their day or attempt to.
He says he especially likes to sing pop songs like hits from Adele and Bruno Mars.
Can't go wrong with Adele. All right, so let's keep on with this reasons to smile. This week is National Nurses Week, and there have been a lot of people posting on the WFMY News 2 Facebook page, maybe shouting out some nurses and their family nurses they know that they are so appreciative of, not only this week, but just in general. So right now, Brian Bennett joins us with all the comments from our viewers. What are people saying, Brian?
They're saying a lot of shout outs coming in, like you said, Tahisha. We're going to kick things out with the father that was shouting out his daughter. Mike says, Sarah McWade, BSN, RN, NICU nurse in Northern Virginia, Greensboro native, proud Tar Heel from UNC Chapel Hill. Turns out her parents are really proud of her. We're going to move things along. Here's Betsy. She says, thank you to all our nurses for your dedicated service in treating the ill. You are true heroes. Linda says, nurses are the best. Thank you for dedication and your service. And this one is actually a nurse. This is Babeline, and it looks like she works at Cone Health. So there we go, one for the home team, but we are thanking nurses from all over, not just right here in Greensboro. Wendy says, thanks for your service. And we just want to encourage everyone to keep those comments coming in right on our Facebook page and on the 4 to 5 live stream.
That's right. It's 2 Wants to Know game show time. Get ready for this 4 to 5 friends, because we're going to test your knowledge. We're going to test Maddie's knowledge too.
No.
Yes, we are. Okay, so we've got some statements here. Come close so that you can see them. And you can play at home as well. The first one is, you can pay more to get your stimulus money faster. What do you say to that, Maddie?
Danny, I'm going to have to go with false.
You're going to go with false. Okay, and number 2, folks at home, I want you to play along as well. If you fill out the census, you will automatically get your stimulus payment. So, Maddie, what do you say to that?
You know what? I'm going to say false again.
All right, well, is she right? Well, let's see.
Yes.
Yay!
What do I win?
Okay. I have a coffee pot at my desk.
I'll take it.
Okay. All right. So these are just 2 of the ways that people try and get your cash as you are trying to wait for your stimulus money, and be very patient about that, right? Well, these aren't the only 2 ways. Take a listen about those fake checks that they could be sending you.
And if you receive a check that contains dollars and cents, like an odd amount, that maybe they'll then ask you to verify the check or call a phone number or click a link online. That is probably a fraud.
All right, we want to teach you some other things too later on today. So get your phones ready. North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein will be here answering your questions. 336-379-5775. We're talking price gouging, business practices, robocalls, scams, student loans and debt. All of it answered tonight at 5:30.
The city of Winston-Salem is mourning one of their own. Longtime city councilwoman and mayor pro tem Vivian Burke has passed away. She spent 43 years on the city council fighting for equal rights and equal opportunities. Mayor Alan Joyne says her legacy will be one of selflessness and dedication to her community.
She was a strong woman, a strong leader. She wanted to be a voice for those that didn't have a voice. So in addition to those, she worked hard to make sure that within city government, that African Americans and persons of color had opportunities for leadership roles within the city.
Burke started the Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprise Program and initiated the creation of the City Attorney's Office, among a wealth of other accomplishments. Burke was 85 years old, and a legacy that will be felt on for years to come. More of the 4 to 5 after this break. All right, so this is a story that's getting a lot of attention online. A restaurant owner in Texas says that they will not require their workers to wear face masks when they reopen the restaurant. But they go even further than that because they say that they are not allowed to wear face masks as they work. Now, an employee at that Dallas restaurant raised concerns to our CBS affiliate in Dallas. Now, they were allegedly removed from the schedule when they expressed being uncomfortable not wearing a mask. Restaurant management reportedly said masks did not complement the restaurant's style or level of hospitality. Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has not required restaurant workers to wear masks, instead encouraging stores to social distance first and then use face coverings if that can't be done. So I asked you all on my Facebook page, would you eat somewhere where workers are not wearing masks? Fran writes here, having this information in advance, I wouldn't eat there. This is the main reason I am leery of eating from any restaurant now during quarantine. Judy Brown writes, should not be allowed to open. Steph Walker on the other side here says, yes, I would. Eventually, people are going to stop wearing them. And lastly, Darlene writes, if I can't wear it, I'm not working. If the restaurant refuses their employees to wear it, then I'll keep my money in my pocket and cook at home. Maddie, I got to be honest with you. When I was first reading through that story, it was really shocking to me because, you know, the CDC is recommending that everyone wear those face masks when they go out and about. And, you know, you're dealing with food and you're in close quarters in the kitchen. So personally, I probably wouldn't eat at a restaurant knowing that in advance, kind of like Fran did. But I think about these employees who are having to choose between that if they want to work there and make money or wear a mask.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing, Tahisha. You know, you have to feel comfortable in your workplace, and there are some laws that say that they have to provide a safe place for you to work, but it's really a gray area right now on if employers are required to provide you with a mask or any of that protective gear. So it's something that we'll have to be watching as states start to reopen, and Texas is one of the first states to really take a big leap in that reopening. So we can watch them and see what happens there before we move into those phases here in North Carolina. All right, well, earlier in the show, we introduced you to West Davidson alum and former NFL player Josh Bush. He's giving back to his hometown, but how did he get there and what does he think about the state of sports today? It certainly looks different. Eric Chilton had a one-on-one conversation with him.
Well, if you lived in this area any length of time over the last 10 years or so, you know Josh Bush. He needs no introduction. Played at West Davidson High School, Wake Forest, and then in the pros for several years. How are you today, Josh?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for taking time with us. I want to talk to you a little bit about your history. Now, you grew up in the area, so tell me where you're from, and was there a time when you were younger? I just want to know that moment when you realized maybe you had a gift.
I can't remember what I wanted to do when I was younger. But I do remember once I got to high school, Coach Barnes, who was my coach in baseball and football, he was just telling me if I maintained a 3.0 GPA and scored 1,000 on the SATs, that I could go to, you know, any college I wanted to in either sport that he coached me in. And I truly believed him when he said that. So that was my mentality once I got older.
I would guess that he's probably one of your biggest influences.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, at that time I knew nothing about, you know, how to get into college, whether it was for, you know, just academics or for sports too. I had no idea.
I want to talk about the state of sports with you real quick, because as a sports fan, I'm going nuts, man. There's nothing to watch. I mean, what's your take on where we are today with sports?
You know, really, I am hoping for like this instance where we get, you know, the NBA, NFL, and college basketball all in the same season. So that's what I'm really hoping for.
That would be nice. Quick question, because I have to ask you, if you grow up in North Carolina, which color blue do you bleed?
Tar Heel.
Yeah, that's it. Now I can air this video.
Yeah.
You were going the other way. I don't know about that. Hey, Josh, thanks for spending time with us, man. I really appreciate it. Best of luck to you. What you're doing with your foundation and helping needy kids, that's a great thing.
Now, the quickest way to get on Eric Chilton's good side, say you're a Carolina fan. If you want to know more about the Josh Bush Foundation, all the good work that they're doing for our community right now, follow the link on this story on WFNYnews2.com. Don't go anywhere. The 4 to 5 is coming right back. All right, you've probably seen this all over your social media timelines. The murder hornet, or its technical name, the Asian giant hornet. Many of you are telling us that you've seen them here in North Carolina, so we reached out to the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services to verify. Entomologist Whitney Swink says the Asian giant hornet is not in our state, and it's possible that you're confusing it with the European hornet. They've been in the U.S. since the 1800s. We're showing you a side-by-side look at the two. On the left is the Asian giant hornet, on the right a European hornet. The Asian giant hornet has an entirely yellow-orange head, and the European hornet has a combination of yellow, orange, and brown.
The reason it's received the kind of nickname murder hornet is actually because it's murdering honeybees, not so much humans. What they can do is enter beehives and kill the entire hive in about 90 minutes, and they unfortunately decapitate honeybees in the process, which can be very graphic and scary.
Oh goodness. So Swink says they're monitoring this species. If you think you see one, you can report it to them. And if you can safely take a photo, keyword safely take a photo, upload it to their website.
As far as I'm concerned, every hornet is bad. I don't like any of them. Also don't like to have a lot of rain, but that's what we've got across the area right now. Just some light showers, and those will continue as we go through the evening hours, but they will start to taper off by about 7 o'clock tonight. It's been a breezy afternoon so far. We've had wind gusts around the 25-mile-per-hour mark in the Triad. Of course, a little more in our mountains as well. Temperature-wise, kind of a diverse temperature map from the 50s in our foothills to 60s here in the Triad, even closer to 70 south and east of the Triad that you go. Clearing out for your Thursday. It's a beautiful day with lots of sunshine, upper 60s. It still will be breezy. Then we're watching another chance at some showers Friday evening and Friday night, but we clear out and we get downright cold for May heading into the weekend. Upper 50s on Saturday, mid 60s on Sunday afternoon, but not before we dip down into the 30s for Mother's Day morning.
Still ahead on WFMY News 2 at 5. It's been an unexpected and sad few weeks for the class of 2020. Those seniors may be missing out on prom and traditional graduations, but parents are stepping up to make sure they feel special. We check out the Adopt a Senior program at Grimsley High School in about 20 minutes.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever good.
Callie, I'm looking for interrupt button number 4.
Yes, the countdown is on. We are less than 48 hours.
Hey, mic check. I am live in front of Sweet Tea Studio. I have
Hi, hello. It's cloudy outside, which makes for great.
Hear more from Barbara. Just because they're home doesn't mean their fight against the virus is over.
It's time for my 2 cents. Today is National Nurses Day, which kicked off National Nurse Appreciation Week. So I just wanted to take a few moments to say thank you to all the nurses out there. Thank you for showing up day after day during these tough times. Thank you for putting others before yourself. Thank you for going the extra mile to put a smile on your patients' faces. Thank you for risking your life. Thank you for sacrificing time with your family. Thank you for your compassion. We know that it's not easy, but all those extra hours that you are putting in are not for granted. You are making a difference. We see you, we hear you, we appreciate you. To all the non-nurses watching, take some time this week to thank some of the nurses across the country who are going above and beyond on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. That's my 2 cents and your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now. The countdown is on. We are 48